Hello, my name is Victor Paz and I am an operatic baritone, and today I'll be discussing a little bit about Mahler's Ruckert Lieder. Mahler's Ruckert Lieder I wouldn't necessarily call it a cycle because the songs in the collection are not linked together by any common thematic storyline. It's more like a collection of songs that Mahler thought went well together. The unifying characteristic of the work, however, is that the songs are set to texts, poems by Ruckert. And the song that I performed later on in the video, as you'll see, is called Liebst du Schönheit. And now I'd like to recite the poem in German. Liebst du Schönheit, und nicht mich liebe die Sonne, sie trägt ein goldnes Haar. Liebst du Jugend, und nicht mich liebe den Frühling, der jung ist jedes Jahr. Liebst du Schätze, und nicht mich liebe die Meerfrau, sie hat viel Perlen klar. Liebst du Liebe? Oh ja, mich liebe mich immer, dich lieb ich immer da.
If you love for beauty, oh do not love me. Love the sun, it has golden hair. If you love for youth, oh do not love me. Love the springtime that is young each year. If you love for wealth, oh do not love me. Love the mermaid who has many limpid pearls. But if you love for love, oh yes, love me. Love me forever, I will love you forevermore.
Liebst du Schönheit, o nicht mich liebe die Sonne, sie trägt ein goldnes Haar. Liebst du Jugend, o nicht mich liebe dem Frühling, der jung ist jedes Jahr. Liebst du Schätze, oh nicht mich liebe die Meerfrau, sie hat viele Perlen klar. Liebst du Liebe? Oh ja, mich liebe mich immer. Dich lieb ich
One of my absolute favorite songs is the one that you just heard, Liebst du Schönheit, from Mahler's cycle of poetry by Ruckert Lieder. I first heard this song in a concert and Lieder recital by operatic baritone Thomas Hampson at Ozawa Hall in Tanglewood 2 summers ago. I immediately became absolutely obsessed and enamored by the tonal and harmonic world inhabited by Gustav Mahler in not only this piece, but in his symphonies and his other song cycles, including the famous Das Lied von der Erde and Kindertotenlieder. Throughout this semester in our music history course, we have had the tremendous pleasure of learning about different composers in the Romantic period, including Beethoven, Strauss, Wagner. Wagner and Beethoven were two of Mahler's greatest influences. Mahler's symphonies are entire universes unto themselves. They use huge orchestras that comprise of sometimes over hundreds of instruments, and when you add chorus, it's an enormous world of sound that Mahler creates. And he does this in interesting ways. He approaches it as both a traditionalist as well as an innovator and a modernist. He has followed the example of people like Brahms and Beethoven, but he's also expanded the symphonic form and taken the sort of Wagnerian ideals of gargantuism and exploited them to an extreme with his symphonic works. The song cycle of Ruckert Lieder, which you just heard one piece from, is not one of Mahler's perhaps gigantic works. It is a smaller scale work that was originally composed for voice and orchestra or piano, and it's not a song cycle that is overbearing, but rather it's a song cycle that deals with a lot of themes that would become persistent in Mahler's life: tragedy, death, sorrow, loss, and despite all of this, a sort of transcendent optimism about the whole thing, which makes Mahler's music so deeply touching and moving. Liebst du Schönheit, which you just heard, is a song that is quite simple at first. It's basically saying, if you love for beauty, do not love me. Love the sun, because it is eternally beautiful. And it's basically giving different examples. It gives the example of if you love for youth, if you love for money, if you love for pearls. He doesn't want to be loved, but if you love for love, then love me, he says. And it's a very simple poem, but it's so moving in the way that Mahler sets the accompaniment and the voice. It contains sort of banal elements intermixed with very sophisticated harmonic language, and it makes the piece seem very, very natural, and it gives it an organic sort of feeling as if it's coming from the earth. And that is true of a lot of Mahler's music. Although it is very big and it is very romantic and expressive, within that, Mahler uses smaller forms and smaller compositions, smaller works within the large-scale works, which make the work a cohesive whole. And really, that's why Mahler's works are considered universes, because they encompass everything about life. They contain everything. And that's what personally attracts me to Mahler's music and to Mahler's works.